Welcome back to the Game Closet, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Scott, and I just got back from the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo last week, and while I was there, some of my fellow YouTube creators, well, I asked them a question for spooky season, because we all love horror games and spooky games, don't we? Well, I sure do. Here's the question that I asked everybody. Was there a game that in your past, a horror game of course, that perhaps while you played it, it was so scary to you that you actually had to put the game down? Or did you play through the entire game, but somehow the game affected your reality? You started to cover yourself up at night, make sure your feet were under the covers, turn the lights on, keep checking with people to make sure reality was really there because everything was so scary. I asked a few creators just that question, and let's see what they had to say right now. I've got Marcus here with Video Game Votary. Check him out on YouTube.
Yeah, if I would have to pick, it would definitely be Resident Evil Biohazard, but in VR. So I played it in VR.
Everybody's been telling me this.
In the dark, and you know, you put the earbuds in, so it's canceling everything else around you. So it's like one of those things where you kind of lose a sense of where you at, of reality. So it kind of messes you up a little bit. You know what I mean? In VR, it's its own experience, but that with Resident Evil stuff, shooting past the screen right in front of you, and then you can hear it in this ear, then it goes, it just very realistic. So yes, that kind of shook me up just a little bit.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I forget who it was, but somebody else told me that I have to play that in VR.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
It's a good time, but yeah, if you are, I guess, a little scary, it's probably gonna mess you up. But yeah, it's still fun regardless. And I go back to it.
Marcus, thank you so much. It's good to meet you.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Check him out. Check him out on YouTube.
Video Game Voter on all platforms. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yay! I've got Gamer Ahmer here, and I'm asking the same question.
Yeah, so there is this game. It was on the PlayStation VR, but like the first one, and it was Until Dawn: Rush of Blood.
Welcome, my friend, and step right up to the ride of your life.
And it's like, not only do you have like the roller coaster, but it has like these horror things going on. So in there, there's like these like pig faces, and there's like mannequins, and things kind of like jump out at you, or they twist and turn, and it's just kind of like, it's creepy. Well, there was a part where I jumped, and I'm so shocked that I didn't like hit the TV or like break the system. So like something like that really, like, it gets you. Like those pop out, jump out scares, like those ones are what gets me. Like, not a lot of like the other stuff kind of like scare me or haunt me or, you know, give me like nightmares or anything like that. But people that pop out and go boo, or something that I didn't, like, that will get me every time. Like the haunted houses, I can look at creepy stuff all the time, but the person, that clown that's like in that room and you don't see them and they just pop out at you, those are the ones that,
okay,
you know, they get me.
Okay, but I'm gonna have to find. I may have that game, but I have not played my VR that much yet.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm gonna have to get that and play it because I do love a good scare. So.
And it's like the motion sickness too. You gotta be careful of that with the roller coaster and that.
I'm okay with that. I just don't like knocking things over in my office.
Yeah, you might do that with this game.
I know it's inexpensive too, so I'll have to check it out.
Okay.
Gamer Ahmer, thank you so much. Check her out on YouTube, all the other socials. Other than Facebook, we can catch you on TikTok as well?
Yeah, X, Instagram, yeah, Facebook, YouTube, all the socials.
She's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Check her out too. I've got John Riggs here, of course.
Yay.
And friend of the channel.
Yep.
Love you. Well, I love you. I just love you.
Oh, I appreciate you.
But I'm going to scare you for a moment.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you got? I have two of them I can think of off the top of my head. Should I give you just one, or should we do?
You can do both.
I'll do both. Okay, and both of them are going to be pretty short stories anyway. The very first time I played Silent Hill, and this is me. I love Silent Hill more than Resident Evil. I'm a Silent Hill guy, and the first time I ever played Silent Hill, near the end of the game, just searching for something. I forgot what I was in the middle of doing in this game, but the music was just ominous and creepy and weird and whispery, to the point where I'm playing this game at like 3 a.m. I was like, nope, I'm turning this game off for now. I'm saving this game I can't deal with this right now in my life. And that was definitely one of those where I had to make sure I closed the blinds. I had to make sure that, you know, my feet weren't hanging over the edge of the bed at night when I went to sleep. Couldn't do it. And then it was funny because then the next morning, I popped it back on, and it was just fine.
Yeah.
But just for some reason, the atmosphere in that game, whew, just gives me chills. The other one is a game, I'm a huge VR gamer as well, and there's a game called Exorcist VR. Well, with a game like Exorcist VR, you can kind of guess. There was one time in the game where, sure enough, at the end of the first stage, if you count these stages in the game, it was like something was happening. I could hear something happening behind me, and in VR, I mean, if there's something happening behind you, you just literally turn around. And that was a situation was like, there's something behind me. I know when I turn around, it's gonna give me a jump scare. You can feel the jump scare coming.
Okay.
So I took the headset off and then literally turned the headset around so I didn't have to turn around and look at the thing.
You cheated.
I cheated. And there was no jump scare. Nothing happened.
Why would a god let you, such unholy slime, carry out a god's work?
So I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna be okay with this game. So I just turned it off for now, and then I was like, and then I came back to it later. But there were certainly a few opportunities, especially in VR, where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do this part, but I'm gonna take out the earphones. I'm going to maybe tilt my headset a little bit, so it's like I can kind of see, but I can close this eye if I need to. You know, Exorcist VR, I thought it was just creepy enough where I'm like, okay, I got to get back into the groove of things here, but I still love them. And both of those games I still love today. Especially, I mean, Exorcist just came out like a year ago or two.
Okay.
Yeah, Silent Hill, the first one. Man, I haven't played through that in a long time. Maybe it's about time to re-experience that out all over again.
Very good answers on both of them, and
Yeah.
so far I've gotten VR answers for almost everybody so far.
Really?
And all different
Interesting.
ones. All different ones.
Well, see, if you're into the horror genre, the jump scare, the thriller, the psychological terror, maybe VR gaming is the way to go. I never thought about it. I love VR, but I know it's not for everyone. So
No.
we'll see.
No. John, thank you again.
Hey, my pleasure.
And
Always good to see you.
where else can we find you? Aside from YouTube, I know
Right.
we can find you there as John Riggs, but
Sure.
where else can we find you?
Just John Blue Riggs on all socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm all over the place. TikTok, I guess. Kids use TikTok, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I'm not a kid.
Yeah, MySpace, I don't know. How old are we? Friendster? Live Journal, I mean, some hieroglyphics, maybe somewhere around there we can.
I want to start. I want to start a MySpace again. I want one.
It still exists. It's just like music-based
Just
now.
music now.
It's not the same.
Thank you, John.
My pleasure.
I've got my friend Johnny Grafx here, and I'm asking him the same question that I've been asking everybody else. Has there been a game that has been very creepy, very weird, very strange, a horror game? We'll start over.
Hey! Hey!
We'll do it live. There's definitely at least a dozen or so examples of that, because growing up I played a lot of horror games. It's still probably my favorite genre. You know, when it's done right, I think horror is the best genre. But the two that really stick out to me are the original Clock Tower. Well, Clock Tower on the PS1, I guess. For us in the West, it was the original, but it's not the true original. PS1 Clock Tower. You know, me and my friends would play this game, and we were like 11 years old. We probably shouldn't have been playing it, but we were playing it on one of those little 13-inch Panasonic TVs with an attached VCR on the bottom.
Okay.
You remember those? Those are
Yeah.
kind of popular. So I had one of those, and we put it on the floor, PS1 right next to it. We play Clock Tower in my dad's basement, all the lights out, and and I had a drum set in the back of the room. And you know, we'd be playing Clock Tower, and if you know Clock Tower, there's these really intense moments where you're running from Scissor Man, and then there's the other 80% of the game where you're just worried about where he's going to show up next.
Okay.
So that's what we were doing, and you know, most of the game is actually pretty quiet when you're doing investigating, and so every now and then we would hear a little ding on one of my cymbals in the back of the room. And to this day, I've tried to explain it away. I don't know, maybe a little piece of dust fell from the ceiling. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, we came up with all kinds of little devil's advocate theories, but we did learn later on that the previous owner of that house had died. So of course that elevated everything. So, you know, a couple of years later, we played Silent Hill 2 down there, did the same thing. And you know, during some of the quieter moments, every once in a while I would hear a little ding on one of my ride symbol, the big symbol. And so it was just a horrifying experience, the game plus being haunted in real life. So for me, you know, those two feelings are now intertwined. When I think of those games, I think about literally being terrorized by ghosts.
Wow.
On top of the games also being scary. So, you know, that's the association that I have with those games.
That's uncanny.
Yeah. On top of just really liking those games too, you know.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
there you go.
I'm not buying drums. Just
Nah.
John, of course we can find Johnny Grafx on YouTube, but
Yep.
where else can we find you?
On TikTok as well. Totally different type of content, mostly just hot takes, which is the only way to really get views on TikTok at this point, is to stir the pot. So I do a little bit of that, but I like to consider that to be a little bit of information as well. So yeah, I'm on TikTok and YouTube.
Well, thank you so much, John. We'll see you later. Bye. Hi.
Hi. Long weekend, man.
It's been fun.
It has
very
been fun. It's been really good.
Yeah.
Really fun. So why are we here?
I've got Stephen Heywood here with the Tech Buzz Gaming, and I'm asking him, is there a horror game you maybe stopped playing because it was just too much for you, or maybe you did finish a game, but it kind of creeped you out so much that it actually seeped into your reality, and now you're covering up your feet in bed, and maybe you're leaving the light on or a bathroom light, so you're just kind of like, yeah, that just got to me.
It's funny you should say that because I was just talking to somebody about this. Resident Evil 7. Go figure, right? Resident Evil 7. But VR.
Okay.
You have to play it in VR. I can beat the game without VR and it's fine. When you put VR on, like my wife will tell you, I broke out into a sweat with it because my heart was pounding because like you get so immersed in VR, and I can only tolerate certain games in VR. Just I want to stress that because of motion sickness. But when you're walking in a cabin in the middle of the woods and it's dark and it's storming and you know you hear noises and the guy's pounding on the wall and you're hearing it and you're like jumping, any jump scare, and you're kind of peering around the corner and all of a sudden something's in your face like that, man. I think I played the first level and I stopped. I was like, I'll have a heart attack. I can't do this.
Wow.
I can't do this. It really made me feel like I was in a haunted house. It really did.
Gosh.
And it's not the type of game it is. It's more of a jump scare game
Yeah.
if you played the newer Resident Evils. But yeah, I couldn't do it.
Wow.
Could not do it.
Well, I'm gonna have to try this now, see how far I can make it.
You won't get motion sick. What happens is you just get you're in your head, you're in this zone because you find yourself looking around and whatnot. What you get sick from in that game is you start getting sweaty and your heart's racing so mad that you have to take it off, and you have to take that in breaks. I don't know if your audience agrees with me on that, but that's honestly me. Nope. Mm-mm.
We all have our thresholds, that's for sure.
Yeah, like I can't do that.
Well, thank you, Stephen. Now, of course, we know you from YouTube, but where else can they find you?
You can go to ttbgaming.com and pretty much find everything about me there, all the other socials and everything.
Excellent. My friend, thank you so much.
Sir.
Thank you so much. And that's it. All right, cool.
Keep it buzzing.
Keep it buzzing. So you've heard from our friends earlier, and you've heard some of the games that they've talked about that gave them the willies. Well, there was one particularly that I played in the last couple of years that really shocked me, and that was Resident Evil 4 Remake. Now, of course, you can watch my full review on it, and I'm going to give you some stuff that's a little more on the funny side, but that game scared the crap out of me. I mean, there were plenty of jump scares. There was tons of stuff coming out at me, and I was getting very frustrated trying to fight off all the nasty creatures and stuff coming out at me. Some of the sub-bosses, like with chainsaws and stuff like that, that wasn't so bad. It was just the hordes and hordes of the undead and the whatever, the stuff with the T-virus that they had, because they weren't necessarily dead in that particular game. But it took me a while to really say, all right, I got to get all the way through this game. And it took me a while to say, this isn't real, and my heart was pounding. I had to actually set it down occasionally and come back to it. As much as I wanted to just plod on, but I didn't. I'd like to thank all of my guests for coming on today, and check them out, please, on their YouTube channels. And we'll see you very, very soon. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please hit the like button because it helps the YouTube algorithm spread the video to more awesome people just like you. Subscribe for more here in Dr. Scott's Game Closet, and there's plenty more where this one came from, so click on a video for more video game shenanigans. We'll see you all very, very soon.